Okay, here we are. Day 3 of the latest episode in the World War. I have some music to play to start us out. Hold on. So, gonna report on. We have beheaded babies. That's the big story, and wartime propaganda in general. It's these kinds of stories that everybody is dying to report on. So, and I can tell you about wartime propaganda in the past too. This is called Submerge FM by Yeji. I don't know. It's an interesting song. Just gotta wait for it to get going. It looks like I have a bug bite or a pimple right here. Right where you can see it by my neckline, by where I wear my Jesus piece. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody has counted their blessings. If not, here's your chance. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Breathe.
우리는 왜 과거가 머나먼 곳이라 생각하나. It's only what you see, what you can believe. Internet said there's nothing we can do to save the future generation. 우리는 왜 미래가 머나먼 곳이라 생각하나. It's only what you hear, what you can believe. 들리지 않아도 마음으로 믿고 행동으로 보여줄 수 있다. 우리는 왜 현실에 충실하고 꿈을 꾸지 않나. Isn't it what we dream that we should believe? I can see myself and you and yourself and me, and we're all a part of one. And we're all a part of one. And we're all a part of one day adds to 1 week, 1 month adds to 1 year, 1 sun adds to 1 life, 1 love. 우리는 왜 과거가 머나먼 곳이라 생각하나. It's only what you see, what you can believe. Internet said there's nothing we can do to save the future generation. 우리는 왜 미래가 머나먼 곳이라 생각하나. It's only what you hear, what you can believe. 들리지 않아도 마음으로 믿고 행동으로 보여줄 수 있다고.
I think that might be it. All right, how's everybody doing today? That was an interesting song I heard for, well, I think was the first time today. Oh, sorry for belching at you. I'm sorry. Good day. We started at 1:11 p.m. today, a different kind of occult time. Gluten and dairy free. Yeah, this is what we're talking about. Maintaining a high vibration during these difficult times. That is how to peacefully fight back against the darkness. Yeah, got to do what you can. I'm having my water, making sure to keep myself hydrated. I still, I had a Coke. I still take, I am not taking stimulants. Don't have to admit to all this stuff, but I was for as medication before, and I'm not anymore. And now I'm balancing my. I want to keep my frequency high, but it helps to have a little caffeine. So I had a Coke before this, and that has corn syrup and everything. So I don't even know if that's good. Maybe that puts me on a low vibration. I'm sorry. Sorry if I can't be everything that you want every single time, but it's pretty good. I've been listening to the show. It's not that bad. Thanks for the support. People who leave comments saying that the show is back. Yeah, we're just doing what we can. There's more news than usual, so there's more to talk about. So I'm here to talk about it with you guys. I had a message from a cryptocurrency channel today. Batman says lay off the Coke. Well, it is like that, right? It wasn't that, but it's just a medication that they genuinely prescribe. And it kind of helps with performance in a certain way. You might have noticed the streams aren't quite as long as they had been, but I'm just working my way into it, okay? And I appreciate everybody. I'm recovering from quite an experience. So I appreciate people who stuck with me through it and the people that choose not to judge too quickly. So I appreciate that. Jedi's, hey Diamatria Beats, good to see you. I could play your introduction that you made for us since you're here. You want to hear that? Let's see. Oh, I have that in my background audio, I think. LTV intro vocals. Do you want to hear that since you're here? People could call in today if they want to. I'll open up the application right now so people can call in if they want to. I won't even post the number, so that'll be for people in the know if they want to know. Good to see you guys. This is WW3 Chill stream number 002. We expect to go up to at least 111 of these shows. Just looking outside, I heard something hit the window. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day outside. The sun is shining. There is a fly in my office, but my office is more organized. Sumi is here. Would you like to see her? I can show you. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yep, there's Sumi. Oops. the phone is not focusing correctly. There. Here. Oh, here. Okay. Now we confused the system enough. And we're back. So that was a little tour of the studio. We straightened it up. We have t-shirts though, for sure. Visit our store if you'd like to. We just got an order actually today, so that's great. For truthclothing.io, that's our main sponsor. Truthclothing.io. Yeah, and I could play another. That was pretty trippy, huh? I'll let you get your balance back. And I could play this, the LTV intro vocals. You know these, right? 650-429-8294. This is the lockstep episode.
People you've never heard of.
This is Nathan here on the air.
What's up, Nathan?
Leaving.
Hey! Hang on, Jim. Totally get Jim. I totally get the last caller.
Great, thank you.
Hello, Nathan. This is Rob from California.
Hey, Rob in California. Yesterday, everybody was calling from Texas. It's good to hear from people from California.
This is Rena. I'm from Bend.
Nice caller. See, we do have nice people who listen to the show. 650 Gay Taxi is the number. All right, see you.
Hi, Nathan. How you doing?
Good, thanks. What's up?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if,
Hey, you're on the air. What's going on? Hello?
what?
Hey.
I always say this is Jim from Baltimore.
Right.
It almost feels like AI.
Yeah. That is weird.
totally.
But now
Like, I
you
can
just proved
see,
you're not AI.
Hey, were you able to hear me a second ago? Or
Yeah, I can hear you. But when I do tweet, I am hilarious.
Hey Nathan, this is Mikey from Grand Rapids.
Hey, Mikey, what's going on?
Hey, this is Wade, Florida. How you doing?
All right, see ya. We've had the pandemic has been covered here on this channel for at least 100 days.
Holy fucking shit.
It's crazy.
See, like
You've
that,
called
that
in
makes
probably
me realize
95.
my life is going fast. Every day is like every day. This is like every day to me.
Yeah, I know. It's all the same.
No
It's
shit.
like Groundhog Day.
No, like even before, and it's gonna be after for me. But like,
Right.
yeah, all right, see ya.
All right. Every day is every day. Shoot. Sorry about that. I was muted again. Dang it. I did that yesterday too. I hope everybody is. It was much shorter though. by the time I realized it. Gosh, dang it. Every day is what Jim said. Every day is every day. And that has to do with time. And even this song, if I read you the lyrics, the song I played for you early on, it says one, we are all one. And then this time thing, this time cycle thing, it's buried in everything. One day, 1 minute, 1 second, 1 hour. Cycle. So everything cycles, everything loops. Everything is a pendulum. Everything is everything. But what did I say? What did that song say? That song said, I can see myself and you and yourself and me, and we're all a part of one. And we're all a part of one. And we're all a part of one. One day adds to 1 week. 1 month adds to 1 year. One sun adds to one life, one love. And you can turn that into Jesus if you want, as far as the Son goes, because he's the one that's supposed to be the Son of God. I know it's spelled differently, but we say it the same. Ian Will says, I'm just thankful you were able to turn things around, Nate. I was really worried about you and didn't want you lost to us forever. We love you, man. Thank you for that, Ian Will, with the clown frog. Appreciate it. Yeah, and thanks, Jim Matro Beats. Yeah, never forget. You forgot that you made that? Never forget. Never forget. That's what keeps us in time. Otherwise, you might just start thinking time is unreal, which it is. We invented time and space, kind of, and it can disappear like that. Boom. It can be all over. Yeah, I was talking about that yesterday. Yeah, just with each breath, with each day, with each set of the sun rising, and then there's the moon too, which makes things very confusing. And then there's the Dark Side of the Moon album by Pink Floyd with the crystal and the rainbow. Those are symbols I'm familiar with. Crystal, it's prism. And then there's the Dark Side of the Moon that can play with the movie The Wizard of Oz, if you ever done that one. And when it goes to color, that's when you start the if you watch it. I did it. I wasn't tripping on acid like I should have been, but I watched it. I played it. It's like between Roars of the Lion, you start Dark Side of the Moon with your VHS copy of The Wizard of Oz. Back in the day before we had all this digital stuff. I mean, if you can believe it, the world has not always been like this. That's a message that just came through me for you. What does that mean? The world has not always been like this. Oh, as far as technology goes and artificial intelligence. Now, do you want to live forever? Do you want to live forever? That is an obsession of many people. Let me play you this clip. We'll get into the news, right? Because there's a war. Supposedly they're beheading babies. I don't know how else to break the news to you. So supposedly they're beheading babies, and that's terrible. Fly. Go away. Supposedly they're beheading babies. And if we are all one, we do not like to see death and destruction because it must hurt us. It must hurt our soul for other souls to be hurting each other, especially if they're little baby souls. And that's sad, you know? So we can't, there's nothing like, there's no good way to cover it. Exactly. Unless you want to use it as propaganda against your enemies, in which case it's really weird to say, but both sides are doing it. We see them holding their, on the Palestinian side, they were already doing it yesterday. I saw it, holding their dead babies in front of the camera for maximum propaganda effect. So both sides are killing babies and women. And it's always worse, right? I mean, it's so sexist. Women have so many advantages built in. It's so ridiculous that we're trying to give them more. But women and children are go first. If you're being chivalrous, chivalry is important. Reminds me of a great song by Van Morrison. Wonder if I could play that for you now. Men with insight, men in granite, bent on chivalry. Yeah, we're supposed to. That's the part that people forget. Is like men are supposed to be like knights in shining armor. We are supposed to be chivalrous, which means, opening doors and stuff is nice. You don't have to, but it's nice. Paying for meals, like that's stopped, apparently. I don't even know. But back when I was growing up, you definitely paid for your date's meal. Well, if you expected to get anything afterwards, I guess. But then it becomes sort of transactional, doesn't it? Let me play you this clip that was thought-provoking from, strangely, the crypto channel that I follow. Cryptos are us. Like, and in the theme of his show, he says, I am George. We are all George. Not much different than my show, where I say that you're characters in my head. But actually, it's really important. Is there something? Is Sumi coming back? Yeah. Oh, to be with me? Oh, that's nice. Hey, Sumi. Oh, that's nice. Sumi actually wanted to be here for the show, so that's good. We have a canine producer for the show. It is good to have an animal in the room with you when you're live streaming so that they can telepathically get the information out from the aliens that they're talking to and ghosts. Thank you, Sumi. I appreciate you. I can tell you that telepath. I can just think about it and she can understand because she is working with aliens and dead people to give us messages and to keep an eye on us, me and Katie here in our bunker where we're hoping to be able to survive, at least for as long as we have a lease. We are hoping to make it to the end of the lease. That'd be a good goal without having without World War III coming to our door. So we're grateful. We are grateful to have a place to live that is nice and a state that is also nice geographically and surrounded by people around here that are pretty nice too, to be honest with you. Not very ethnically diverse. It's not a particularly ethnically diverse area, but it is very nice. And that we are grateful for. So check this out. This I heard. So first of all, they are targeting Bitcoin a little bit. Here, check this out. New York Post. Oh, no. That's the story about the dead babies. Yeah, 40 babies supposedly killed. Yeah, that's the story. Here we go. Israel freezes crypto accounts seeking Hamas donations. So here we go. The attacks on Bitcoin come. Israel freezes crypto accounts seeking Hamas donations, police say. TFC Jedi says, have you seen any protests in your area about the conflict? I have not. No, I have not. But that does not mean that they didn't happen. I would have to check the local news. I know there are various protests that did happen, and I might have different clips from those for you today. But no, I have not seen protests in my area. There's lots of things going on, like Harvard, apparently. See, I'm not going to blame. It's really difficult. It's easy to be called anti-Semitic by talking about this, or saying things about it. Israel wanted Hamas to be in charge of Gaza. That's what Israel wanted, and that was released by WikiLeaks cables. So, and then this attack happened, and just even though there was a report that it was planned for months, there was no Western intelligence that this was going to happen. Apparently, Egypt might have known, and they tried to tip off the Israelis, but the Israelis didn't want to listen to them. But apparently Egypt had some intelligence, which was ignored. Now, like Pearl Harbor, we might have had intelligence about that too. And so some people say Pearl Harbor was an FF, if you know what that is in the code. Some people say Pearl Harbor was because we maybe let it happen so that we have an excuse to go to war, basically. And so, yeah, this is a new 9/11. I mean, 9/11 was used as an excuse to go to war. This event is being used as an excuse to go to war. And now the propaganda is coming out about it to do things that they wanted to do in the first place. So that's the thing, right? They say never let a good crisis go to waste. That's true. It's true. They're going to exploit, it's like there's some kind of sick desire to see terrible news. There's a good album by Modest Mouse, Good News for People Who Love Bad News. So like someone like Ben Shapiro, he's sharing pictures of a crib, which I can't tell what happened there. It's an empty crib. Just saying this, this is what Hamas does. But there are dead babies on the other side too. That's the thing. I mean, we have, so why do we only freak out? And why does the news only cover it when it's a certain side? You know what I mean? And I have previous propaganda where it was genuinely a fake story about babies being pulled out of incubators in the Iraq War, the original Iraq War. So anyway, I'm going all over the place. Welcome. Glad you're here. Do you want to hear another intro? Why not? It tells you everything you need to know. Hold on. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news. Yes, that's correct. Hey, so hopefully we have room for, people with varying opinions. That's what this show's about anyway. I'm not taking sides in this conflict. It seems like bad things. It's hard to even say there are good people on both sides, but there are good people on both sides. First of all, not every Jewish person is in lockstep with the company line, the Israel first line. Here's somebody in the chat though who's Israel first. Spooky. This is where I'll challenge you on this comment. Israel may have a right. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. Just wide scale death and destruction to everybody in Gaza who they were already. Here's what you said. Here's what Spooky said, and people can hear it on the podcast. I'll just respond to it. Israel is justified in turning Gaza into glass after this weekend. Can't wait. Champagne ready when I see troops enter Gaza. So the only thing I would challenge you on, Spooky, is you probably would have said that before too, right? I mean, generally, I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into your mind, but didn't you already maybe have those feelings about Palestinians and Hamas, most likely? So this is a good excuse to turn Gaza into glass. But I'm going to say, that's what Israel was already doing everything possible to make their lives miserable so that hopefully they would die or start killing each other or something. Isn't that somewhat accurate? So, but thank you, Spooky. Thanks for being here. I just feel like, well, it's a holy war. Jay-Z said, your religion creates division like my Maybach partition. And that's true. It's a holy war. So even these children, right? These children that die, are they martyrs then? Because they're martyrs for the propaganda. All right. So even the children dying, like, it has a price, but also it's so useful if you really hate the other people anyway. And there are many people, I won't say it's certainly not all Jews or all Israelis. Not everybody walks in that's why I want to stay away from being anti-Semitic, certainly, and saying that there's just a culture there where both sides learn that the other is really terrible and that's justified to take their lives. That an Israeli child will grow up to be an evil occupier. It's like whether you would kill Hitler, right? Would you go back and kill baby Hitler if you had the choice? That's the way they look at it. They're like, oh, well, each of these Jews or each of these Muslims or Palestinians and Israeli is going to grow up to be evil because that's how they are. So you might as well kill them now as part of the holy war. And it's no different than taking an adult Hitler to take the baby Hitler in this case. And the Jews learn that everybody is out to get them, and without trying to, the Jews learn what can you say? Maybe correctly. No, but that everybody's out to get them and that everybody wants to destroy them, when that's clearly not the truth. And a lot of people who have sympathy for Palestine now are not terrorists, but they do not often people do not distinguish. If you do not, they say, for example, they're saying you can't take sides. The head of that Jeremy Boring, who makes those razors, what else does he lead the Daily Wire? Says you can't say there are two sides, or you can't be a two-sider or something. He said something like that today. You have to pick a side, and it better not be Palestine. So, that's where we're at. Joe Biden made a speech about it today too, so I can cover that. Anyway, I was talking about cryptocurrency. Let's see. Maybe I will play Joe Biden's speech. That feels relevant. So I have his speech here. Let's try to take a look at what he said. And there he is with Kamala and Blinken. And yes, there are a lot of Jewish people in the government. They are statistically overrepresented in government. And Anthony Blinken is a Jewish person, I believe, who has so far refrained from confirming Wall Street Journal reports that Iran was involved. So far, we have not confirmed that report about Iran being involved in the planning of this, which was reported by the Wall Street Journal on Sunday. So anyway, this is what he said. Let's see.
There are moments in this life, and I mean this literally, when the pure, unadulterated evil is unleashed on this world. The people of Israel lived through one such moment this weekend. The bloody hands of the terrorist organization Hamas, a group whose stated purpose for being is to kill Jews. This was an act of sheer evil. More than 1,000 civilians slaughtered, not just killed, slaughtered in Israel. among them at least 14 American citizens killed. Parents butchered using their bodies to try to protect their children. Stomach-turning reports of babies being killed. Entire families slain. Young people massacred while attending a musical festival to celebrate peace.
Peace.
Women raped, assaulted, paraded as trophies. Families hid their fear for hours and hours, desperately trying to keep their children quiet to avoid drawing attention. And thousands of wounded, alive but carrying with them the bullet holes and the shrapnel wounds and the memory of what they endured. You all know these traumas never go away. There's still so many families desperately waiting to hear the fate of their loved ones, not knowing if they're alive or dead or hostages. Infants in their mother's arms, grandparents in wheelchairs, Holocaust survivors abducted and held hostage. Hostages whom Hamas has now threatened to execute in violation of every code of human morality. It's abhorrent. The brutality of Hamas, these bloodthirstiness brings to mind the worst rampages of ISIS. This is terrorism. But sadly, for the Jewish people, it's not new. This attack has brought to the surface painful memories and the scars left by a millennia of anti-Semitism and genocide of the Jewish people. So in this moment, we must be crystal clear. We stand with Israel. We stand with Israel. And we will make sure Israel has what it needs to take care of its citizens, defend itself, and respond to this attack. There's no justification for terrorism. There's no excuse. Hamas does not stand for the Palestinian people's right to dignity and self-determination. Its stated purpose is the annihilation of the state of Israel and the murder of Jewish people. They use Palestinian civilians as human shields. Hamas offers nothing but terror and bloodshed with no regard to who pays the price. The loss of innocent life is heartbreaking. Like every nation in the world, Israel has the right to respond, indeed has a duty to respond to these vicious attacks. I just got off the phone with the third call with Prime Minister Netanyahu, and I told him, the United States experience what Israel is experiencing, our response would be swift, decisive, and overwhelming. We also discussed how democracies like Israel and the United States are stronger and more secure when we act according to the rule of law. Terrorists purposely target civilians.
Well, it's so hard to hear him talk without, I mean, it's like, it's really bad. Like Palestine was occupied illegally this whole time. And they tried doing things the way Israel and it didn't work out for them. And now they don't. Isn't siege warfare a war crime? Cutting off food, water, medical supplies. That's what they said they're doing to everybody in Gaza. That could be a war crime. You know, it is like the rhetoric, man, it's just so off the charts. Yes, Hamas is bad, but not everybody in Palestine supports Hamas. And in any case, Israel wanted Hamas to be in control so they could do this eventually. I mean, I don't know if it's not a secret, I don't think. And I don't think it's anti-Semitic. I mean, they don't like each other. They really, really don't like each other. So they're willing to do things to each other that normally, as human beings, we wouldn't be okay with. But in the past, there have been many holy wars for control of that land throughout history. And have we gotten less violent? I believe humanity is actually as a whole less violent in many ways than we used to be. But we still, Israel's still bombing. There's still, there's stories from both sides about children dead, right? You want to hear the rest of this? I can show you what happened at the festival as per the New York Times reporting on it. Hold on.
Kill them. We uphold the laws of war, the law of war. It matters. There's a difference. Today, Americans across the country are praying for all those families that have been ripped apart. A lot of us know how it feels. It leaves a black hole in your chest when you lose family. Feeling like you're being sucked in.
He's used
Anger,
this so many
pain,
times. He's built his whole career on it.
This is what
we all know Bo died.
Tragedy. An atrocity.
Stop trying to manipulate us.
On an appalling scale. We're going to continue to stand united, supporting the people of Israel who are suffering unspeakable losses and opposing the hatred and violence of terrorism. My team has been in near constant communication with our Israeli partners all across the region and the world from the moment this crisis began. We're surging additional military assistance, including ammunition and interceptors to replenish Iron Dome. No idea what word that was. Surging? We're going to make sure that Israel does not run out of these critical assets to defend its cities and its citizens. All right. That's enough of it. You get the idea. Yes, we stand with Israel. He said it twice, at least. We stand with Israel. This is the story. This is the story. Hamas kills 40 babies and children, beheading some of them at an Israeli kibbutz. That's a report. I don't know if that happened the original day. So Hamas terrorists, it says, this is from the New York Post. Hamas terrorists slaughtered at least 40 babies and young children, decapitating some of them at a kibbutz near the Gaza border. Shaken Israeli officials and reporters at the scene said Tuesday. Quote, it's hard to even explain exactly just the mass casualties that happened right here. Unquote. Visibly distraught I-24 news correspondent Nicole Zedek said during a broadcast from Kibbutz Kfar Aza near Sderot, about a quarter mile from the Gaza Strip. Quote, babies with their heads cut off. That's what the soldiers said. Gunned down, families gunned down, completely gunned down in their beds. Unquote. Well, then she went on to say, quote, this is nothing that anyone would have even imagined. So just let me go do a flashback to babies. So it's terrible. That sounds awful. I don't want to even think about it, much less see pictures about it. Sounds terrible. Why would you want to live in a world where anything like that happens? But again, it is happening on both sides. Children are dying on both sides. This is from WikiLeaks that they shared yesterday on Twitter, and an old story from December 22nd, 2010. WikiLeaks cable, Israeli intelligence chief encouraged Hamas takeover of the Gaza Strip. So that was revealed by WikiLeaks. In the latest revelation to come out of the hundreds of thousands of leaked diplomatic cables provided by WikiLeaks, a diplomatic exchange between then Israeli Director of Military Intelligence, Major General Amos Yadlin, and U.S. Ambassador to Israel Richard Jones showed Israeli support for a Hamas-ruled Gaza Strip, which Israel could then declare Gaza to be a quote-unquote hostile entity. The Hamas party won, but was prevented from taking government, but they actually were able to form a government there. In the transcript, Yadlin told the U.S. ambassador that he would be, quote-unquote, very happy if Hamas formed a government in Gaza, quote, as long as they have no air or sea port. At least they have no port, unquote. He added that Israel would then work with the rival Palestinian political party Fatah to form a government in the West Bank to undermine the Hamas government in Gaza.
And that is exactly what took place. So, like I said to the person who said they should turn Gaza into glass, that's kind of what that's kind of what they wanted to do. And now they have a good reason to. I'll tell you about incubator babies, the famous story. This testimony from during the war in Iraq, the Kuwaiti war. This girl's name is Naira, and she was here. I'll play it
to testify.
Let's see.
Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, my name is Naira, and I just came out of Kuwait. My mother and I were in Kuwait on August 2nd for a peaceful summer holiday. My older sister had a baby on July 29th, and we wanted to spend some time in Kuwait with her. I only pray that none of my 10th grade classmates had a summer vacation like I did. I may have wished sometime that I could be an adult, that I could grow up quickly. What I saw happen to the children of Kuwait and to my country has changed my life forever. It has changed the life of all Kuwaitis, young and old. We are children no more. My sister, with my 5-day-old nephew, traveled across the desert to safety. There was no milk available for the baby in Kuwait. They barely escaped when their car was stuck in the desert sand, and help came from Saudi Arabia. I stayed behind and wanted to do something for my country. The second week after an invasion, I volunteered at the Al-Adan hospital with 12 other women who wanted to help as well. I was the youngest volunteer. The other women were from 20 to 30 years old. While I was there, I saw the Iraqi soldiers come into the hospital with guns. They took the babies out of the incubators, and left the children to die on the cold floor. It was horrifying. I could not help but think of my nephew, who, if born premature, might have died that day as well. After I left the hospital, some of my friends and I distributed flyers condemning the Iraqi invasion until we were warned we might be killed if the
There we go. That's enough. That was the story that was put in front of Congress. So anyway, here's the backstory. Her testimony, which was regarded as credible at the time, that was in the run up to the 1991 Gulf War. Her testimony, which was regarded as credible at the time, has since come to be regarded as wartime propaganda. The public relations firm Hill and Knowlton, which was in the employ of Citizens for a Free Kuwait, had arranged the testimony. The public relations firm arranged the testimony. Naira's testimony was widely publicized. Hill and Knowlton, which had filmed the hearing, sent out a video news release to MediaLink, a firm which served about 700 television stations in the United States. That night, portions of the testimony aired on ABC's Nightline and NBC Nightly News, reaching an estimated audience between 35 and 53 million Americans. 7 senators cited Naira's testimony in their speeches, backing the use of force. President George Bush repeated the story at least 10 times in the following weeks. So just a reminder, I'm not saying the story isn't true, but you heard what the source was. It was a reporter who was on the ground who said soldiers said that they were beheaded, but anyway, it is now part of the news cycle. And then you have people like I have Ron Paul too. You have people like Ben Shapiro saying this. I'll show you his tweet. And like I said, this is definitely a reason to do what they want to do. This is the picture he shared of a bloody crib with playing cards spread around. And it just says babies, kids on it. So this is the type of images. Yeah. Oh, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? It's good, or like you can't really celebrate. If you're support Palestinians, like you can't just celebrate killing babies. I don't think. Hold on. Since I'm saying on the news, this is Ron. Oh, okay. I hear the music from this. This is the video from the music festival, which was like a rave of some sort. But actually it's all text. So there they could see rockets being fired. And it was somebody said it was like pure Babylon. But yeah, it was one of those raves where people are trying to lift their vibrations. Same way we try to do here, right? I could play I could play a Bible verse. No, that's okay. Let me play you Ron Paul. King Ron Paul talking about Israel forming Hamas, I believe.
I rise in opposition to this resolution, not because I am taking sides and picking who the bad guys are and who the good guys are, but I'm looking at this more from the angle of being a United States citizen, an American. And I think resolutions like this really do us great harm. In many ways, what's happening in the Middle East, and in particular with Gaza right now, we have some moral responsibility for both sides in a way, because we provide help and funding for both Arab nations and Israel. And so we definitely have a moral responsibility, and especially now today, the weapons being used to kill so many Palestinians are American weapons, and American funds essentially are being used for this. But there's a political liability, which I think is something that we fail to look at, because too often there's so much blowback from our intervention in areas that we shouldn't be involved in. You know, Hamas, if you look at the history, you'll find out that Hamas was encouraged and really started by Israel, because they wanted Hamas to counteract Yasser Arafat. And you say, well, yeah, that was better then and served its purpose, but we didn't want Hamas to do this. So then we as Americans say, well, we have such a good system, we're going to impose this on the world. We're going to invade Iraq and teach people how to be Democrats. We want free elections. So we encourage the Palestinians to have a free election. They do, and they elect Hamas. So we first indirectly and directly through Israel help establish Hamas. Then we have election. Then Hamas becomes dominant, so we have to kill them. You know, it just doesn't make sense. During the 80s, you know, we were allied with Osama bin Laden. And we were contending with the Soviets. It was at that time our CIA thought it was good if we radicalized the Muslim world. So we financed the madrasa schools to radicalize the Muslims in order to compete with the Soviets. There's too much blowback. There's a lot of reasons why we should oppose this resolution. It is not in the interest of the United States. It's not in the interest of Israel either.
There you go. That was the Gaza Strip conflict resolution. And at the time, it recognizes Israel's right to defend itself against attacks from Gaza and supports a peace agreement. So we've been here before. And yeah, he's talking about how what I said from the WikiLeaks cables. Now, let's see what else. I have another. Here's another clip, I believe, of Ron Paul. That's 5 minutes long, where he's saying that we should defund both sides of the Israel-Palestine conflict. So let me play this. A lot of people love Ron Paul, so that was a good video to play. Let me see if I can play this too. Let's see.
Gentleman from Texas is recognized for 5 minutes.
I thank the gentleman for yielding. I ask unanimous consent to revise and extend my remarks. Mr. Speaker, I rise in opposition to the resolution, and not obviously because it condemns violence. We all condemn the violence, but there's more to this resolution than just condemning the violence. I have a problem with most resolutions like this because it endorses a foreign policy that I don't endorse. And it also does that. It does that by putting demands. So the demands part of this is the part that I object to, not the condemnation of violence. And by doing this, we serve to antagonize. We here today talk about having solidarity with Israel, and others get up and try in their best way to defend the Palestinians and the Arabs. So it's sort of a contest. Should we be pro-Israel or pro-Arab or anti-Israel or anti-Arab, and how are we seen in doing this? And it's pretty important. But I think there's a third option to this that we so often forget about. Why can't we be pro-American? What is in the best interest of the United States? We haven't even heard that yet. I believe that it's in the best interest of the United States not to get into a fight that we don't have the wisdom to figure out. Now, I would like to have neutrality. That's been the tradition for America at least a century ago. To be friends with everybody, trade with everybody, and to be neutral, unless somebody declares war against us, but not to demand that we pick sides. And yet this is what we're doing. And I think our perceptions are so bad because it's not intended that we make the problem worse. Obviously, the authors of the resolution, they don't want to make the problem worse, but you have to realize perceptions are pretty important. So the perceptions are, yes, we have solidarity. What is the opposite of solidarity? It's hostility. So if you have solidarity with Israel, then you have hostility to the others. Now, I have a proposal and a suggestion, which I think fits the American tradition, that we should treat both sides equally, but in a different way. Today, we treat both sides equally by giving both sides money and telling them what to do. Not $1 million here or there, not 100 million here or there, but tens of billions of dollars over decades, always trying to buy peace. And my argument is that it generally doesn't work, that there are unintended consequences. These things backfire. They come back to haunt us. So I think we should start off by defunding both sides. I'm just not for giving all this money, because every time there are civilians killed on the Israeli side or civilian killed on the Palestinian side, you can be assured that either our money was used directly or indirectly to do that killing. So we are, in a way, an accomplice on all this because we fund both sides. So I would argue to consider neutrality, to consider friendship with both sides, and not to pretend that we are all so wise that we know exactly with whom to have solidarity with. I think that's basically our problem. We have a policy that is doomed to fail in the Middle East, and it fails slowly and persistently, always drawing us in, always demanding more money. With the Arabs, we can't tell the Arabs to get lost. The Arabs are important. They have a lot of oil over there. I mean, we can't flaunt the Arabs and say, get lost. We must protect our oil. It's called our oil. And at the same time, there's a strong constituency for never offending Israel. I think that you can't buy peace under those circumstances. I think that we can contribute to being more neutral. I think we can contribute a whole lot by being friends with both sides, but I believe the money is wasted. It's spent unwisely, and it actually does not serve the interests of the American people. First, it costs us money. That means that we have to take this money from the American taxpayer. And second, it doesn't achieve the peace that we all hope to have. So therefore, the policy of foreign non-intervention, where the United States is not the bully and doesn't come in and tell everybody exactly what to do and put these demands on. If we didn't do that, yes, we could have some moral authority to condemn violence, but should we not condemn violence equally? Could it be true that only innocent civilians have died on one side and not the other? I don't believe that to be true. I believe that it happens on both sides, and on both sides, they use our money to do this. I urge a no vote on this resolution.
Gentleman's time has expired.
So someone said manifestation of the light says I was taking a bathroom break. I wasn't actually, but I did refill my vape. So yeah, but I just thought it was good. It's good, solid stuff. Ron Paul is epic. Ron Paul is very reasonable, non-intervention, non-violence. That's a good place to be. So anyway, that was Ron Paul talking about it. So appreciate everybody for tuning in. I did get a super chat over on Rockfin. Thanks, Michelle Obama is a man who tipped $5. Who says, can't get by without coffee, Nate. I'm about to go to work and I really don't want to. I'm glad you seem to be feeling better, man. Thank you very much. I'm also glad I seem to be feeling better, because if I seem to be feeling better, it's almost just as good as feeling. It's tough though. It's funny. But no, I am always glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear people say, oh, you seem to be doing better, because that makes me think, okay, good. At least I seem like I'm doing better. This life is such a challenge, and there are so many things that happen in this life that are challenging, that sometimes life itself is difficult. And sometimes people wonder about whether they want to continue this life. So those are things that happen in our minds. And this was played. So this is this thing it just out of nowhere on this stream, George of Cryptos R Us, who always says, I am George, we're all George, as if somehow the people connected to him are all the same. Well, all right. So this is his moment of wisdom from his show today. I'll play that for you because it caught me off guard this morning.
I heard something the other day that kind of opened my mind up in I don't know if it's in a good way or not. But basically, to paraphrase, if you think about it, right, we all have a limited amount of time on this planet. If you think about it, in 100 years, is anyone going to remember who you are, right? Because you, your loved ones, all of your friends, your parents, your grandparents, certainly, everyone that you know will be dead. Your kids possibly may be dead already, maybe not, and they're very old, but most likely even your kids will be dead. So who will actually remember you? Maybe your grandkids. Maybe they have a portrait picture of you on the mantle. Maybe they have some digital photos of you in their phone. But will they think about you? No. Do you think about your grandparents? Probably not, right? So if you think about that, it's kind of a sad reality, but it puts things in perspective that we all have very limited time, right?
Yes.
In our life.
Limited.
And we got to maximize that time. Otherwise, you're wasting it and you'll never get it again. And no one will remember you anyways. So what's the conclusion to that? Do what you love. Do what you love and spend that time wisely, right? If you think about it.
There you go.
I guess that's it. That's it. That's what I take from it.
So that's George. All right. So we are doing that here and doing what I feel can be valuable. We're giving you guys the news in a way that nobody else really presents it. We're giving you a show that you really can't possibly get anywhere else. So then, and that has to be worthwhile in and of itself, with or without coffees. I did get a coffee, and someone says they're going to buy me a coffee, and I need to read it on the stream. Someone bought a coffee, and Katie D a few days ago bought 3 coffees and said, "Hope your efforts will never be forgotten." Never be forgotten. Well, what I realize is, yeah, we do have eternal life through the memories of us and what we contributed. So yeah, I decided to quit doing my job many years ago now, 8 years ago or what have you, and to do this, which hasn't worked out for me financially. But I still have people who support the show and people who just appreciate getting a totally different perspective. I think I do give a slightly different perspective than everybody else. So thanks once again. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for the kind words. We are taking things one day at a time, and every day is every day. So let's see, what else do I have for you? No. Oh, I can play this. I think this is anti-Semitic content. Apparently, there was a crowd at Sydney Opera House chanting "Gas the Jays" and "F the Jays" on October 9th. I'm not even going to play it for you. I don't need to take the risk. It's not important. But they did appear to be saying "F the Jays." It was hard to tell for sure if they were saying "Gas the Jays," but apparently they were saying that. So yeah, people are, this is the whole melodrama, the whole back and forth. There are bad people out there who say bad things. I mean, people shouldn't be saying stuff like that. It's inflammatory. So I come down on the side of humanity as much as possible. What is this? Oh, this is where a Muslim man makes a threat to all non-believers. Well, I can definitely share this because this is propaganda from the other side, where somebody apparently says that non-Muslims should be afraid. And yeah, religions create divisions.
We're done being tortured and hurt and judged. This is the correct religion. This is the religion that all of humanity needs to be upon, of Islam. And we will not stop until it enters every home. So I want you to repeat after me. I want to hear it in every single district. It should tremble. Brooklyn should hear it. The Bronx should hear it. Queens should hear it. Say it as if the Ummah depends on this, my brothers and sisters. La ilaha illallah! La ilaha illallah! Muhammadan Rasulullah! There is no God worthy of worship except Allah, the God of Jesus, the God of Moses, the God of Abraham, and the God of the last and final prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We're done being tortured.
It didn't seem so bad. I didn't feel threatened. It's rhetoric, right? For some reason, Kuwaiti is trending. I'm not going to be up to date on the latest news because I've already been live for an hour and I only was able to collate the news. The news will continue to be updated on this whole situation, I'm sure. So let's see. Tulsi Gabbard says we must stand with Israel. So if you were looking for her to be on the Palestinian side, she says the United States must stand with Israel in the face of this terrorist attack by the Islamist terrorist group Hamas. This is just the latest example of the greater war being waged by both Sunni and Shia Islamist jihadists throughout the world. This should be a wake-up call to leaders everywhere that Islamist jihadists are the greatest short and long-term threat to the safety, security, and freedom of the American people and people throughout the world. So yesterday we had something that was at the Santa Monica Pier. Somebody shut down the Ferris wheel, and at one point they said it was like a suicide bomber, but I don't think that was. But that we're on edge now because we could be attacked by terror cells within the United States. Here's just some random news. Some guy said the McRib was coming back. and that something bad always happens after the McRib comes out. So he posted this 4 days ago or 5 days ago now. He said the McRib only comes back before a tragic world event. Take precautions. Heed my warning. Bunch of people are saying to get guns. I mean, it's crazy out there what people are saying. I swear they feed off of this. And I guess in a sense I do too, because I'm a news guy. So, dun, 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 dun. Okay, well, let me open up. I have the phones open. I played the intro with the phones, but I do like the length of the shows that have been so far. I can go a little bit longer. I'm thinking about it right now. I'm trying to keep my videos safe for YouTube. So that's really the best thing to do. I can talk to people in the chat. Klaus Schwab said he doesn't know we're living in a simulation. How sweet. Who is he you're talking about? Who, me? I realize that it is a simulation, but there are characters in it that are playing roles. It's like a real live video game / simulation, but I'm aware of that. Are you aware of it? But the entertainment in this realm is pretty amazing, considering it's all just fake. Let me see what else I have. Hold on. I had the Kuwaiti girl crying, so I revealed that news, that previous psyop. I showed you Ben Shapiro's tweets. I showed you what Tulsi Gabbard said. I played you a bunch of Ron Paul. So yeah, I think I've covered everything. So yeah, you guys think about it. I even covered Bitcoin. Also, silver and gold were up today. Not a bunch, but a little. And oil prices have gone up, and the stock market was up today too. So far, the war has not interfered with our financial state. People are still on the same trip, but we are creating a lot of debt, and we have financial issues probably ahead of us. But I've been saying that for 8 years now. So you decide how you want to protect yourself. But gold and silver, certainly this is the kind of environment that they do better in times of uncertainty. So, all right, let me take a look at the chat. This could be like a Q&A. Censored Mom, you say you think cryptos are going to pump? Well, I hope so. This Friday, there's a deadline coming up for the listing of a spot Bitcoin ETF, which is the big thing that we have to look forward to in the future. You think cryptos are going to pump? I hope so. John T says the pain feels quite real for a simulation. Well, that's what feeds. That's the energy that feeds it. Yeah, we are in the beast system. Like we are in a. This part of it is ruled by Satan, basically. Like Satan is the god of this reality in a way, because Jesus said, forgive us our debts. He said, our Father who art in heaven, or who's in heaven, depending on the translation. Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. On earth as it is in heaven. See? So this is the same simulation. So it's weird, but we have the mark of the beast, right? In the money we use, or the devices we wear, or using Apple Pay, or using digital money, or using a bank, any of those things. That's part of the beast system. So we are all part of the beast machine, which operates based on this currency stuff. So we'd like to have currencies that are pure, and silver kills vampires, I believe. So I like silver for that reason. Gold is also has magical qualities. So and has been money for a long time. Ian Will says, as above, so below. That's true. Oh, okay. You want to, yeah, go ahead and call in. Eon. Okay. Eon says he wants to call in. I'll put up the number. The phone should be open. It should have been open this whole time. But I'm on the screen now. So, and I can, okay, share it just like that. So yeah, go ahead and call in if you want, Eon. Will, you said you had a question about something. So you've been being nice. 650-429-8294. 650 gay taxi is the number. So you may call and you can ask me what you'd like to ask. Hey, Dick on Rockfin, what's up? Tulsi is getting lost into the Hindu-Muslim divide. That's her real job. Yeah, she's always been anti-jihadist. She's always said that Islamic terrorism is the most dangerous thing that we face. So it's possible. Oops. Oh, here. Okay, there we go. Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, this is Eon Will.
Hey, Eon, how are you doing, friend?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, friend?
Pretty good, thank you. What's going on?
I think, well, first off, I think you sound and you look like you're doing a lot better than before, and I'm really grateful for all that. You know.
Okay, cool. Well,
we don't need to get into like every.
I'm grateful too. I don't even know like how good my memory is about all the different things that happened. So, but I feel
That's all
like,
right.
yeah, the problem I have, just to complain to you, is I feel like regret for doing things, you know what I mean? Or for being off that way.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Dude, if you didn't feel regret, that would be worse, right?
Yeah, but it's like a lot
Right?
it's a lot to handle. It's like, oh yeah, like I did this, I did that.
I can imagine, because you're having like memory and time problems. So
yeah,
I could imagine it all hits you at one time. It's like, it almost reminds me when you come out of like an addiction and you're like, oh fuck, like this is all the stuff I did. Like, geez, like all the people I hurt. So yeah, but like the fact that you are regretful, that's a good thing, because you're realizing I made mistakes. Now to stay in regret, I think it's smart to go, this is where I'm at right now in life, and I could do better today and I could do better tomorrow.
Yeah,
right?
There you go. That's what I'm trying to do. So appreciate that comment.
Yeah, and dude, you're looking healthier, and I'm really, I mean, praise God, really, you know.
Okay,
like,
Allahu Akbar, indeed.
Yeah. All right. So kind of the thing I wanted to bring up though was, hold on one sec. Sorry, I had to light the cigarette. So we see everything going on in the world right now, right? I have I don't know what you would call it, like what do you call it? Not like a prophecy, but something I could see in the future happening, and I really, really hope it doesn't happen. And I just kind of wanted to get your opinion on it, right? So we see everything happening in Ukraine, you know, all the money we've been sending them, all the weapons we've been sending them. What happened in Afghanistan, how we left all those weapons behind. Now we have Israel, all the money we're sending, all the weapons we're sending. Our army has been completely changed. It's completely woke. Nobody wants to join. It's a bunch of weak people, right? So we have this situation being set up. And my biggest kind of fear is, I've heard for a very long time that China has soldiers in Canada, and it's being hidden from the news, and they're just kind of waiting there, right? We're in debt to China. All of our politicians are sold out to China. We know this, right? It's very obvious. So I'm wondering if a perfect storm is being set up on purpose, but it looks like it's a natural thing where they go all of a sudden, oh, America is extremely weak. We have zero, like we don't have zero. Our weapons are down. We have our bombs are down, or everything is down. The people joining the military can't even fight. Our whole system's weak. Our whole system is set up for an attack, and something might happen. This is what I'm seeing, where it's like, oop, China's, because like the Red Dragon has hated us forever because the Opium Wars, which is really England's fault, but they blame us, right? So I see a system coming in where they go, we're coming in and taking over. Now the only argument against that is the United States is one of the hardest places to attack, right? We're so large. The fact that we have 2A, where they say there's like a gun behind every blade of grass, right? So that would be like that's why they've been trying to do this more subversive attack where they're coming in, they've taken over all of our universities, they've taken over all these businesses. They're like, how many times do we hear about stories where like a Chinese spy was found in a university selling secrets, this and that, so it's like, it's happening like as we speak, subversively. But what happened what hasn't happened yet is like an actual like full scale attack, right? We're subjected to them, and I don't know, man. If they keep demoralizing us and then taking away all this stuff, and all of a sudden, like bullets are like rationed, and and blah blah blah. I can see a situation, and I hope this does not happen, but I can see a situation where that happens, and then all of a sudden we're like, we're on the defensive. What do you think about that?
I don't want to think about it too much because I wouldn't like it to materialize. I think we have
That's true. I get that.
I think we have a pretty big military and stuff and a lot of weapons. So I don't know about an invasion, but somehow they could invade our minds, or they could, you said, they invaded our universities, and
they're already doing that.
Yeah,
they've
so
already they're trying to
subversive.
destroy They're trying to destroy the Western way of life. They're destroying like the family unit, everything. Turning people like gay, trans, and this and that. We're already being attacked. Our way of life is already being attacked.
Do I have to say that? No, you can say stuff like that. Yeah, it's yeah, it's true. Yeah, I don't know what's true about whether Hamas has terror cells here, whether China has troops on the border in Canada, or what. But yeah, I don't want to think about it too much. I mean, hopefully something like that won't happen.
Well, I mean, you've seen the videos where they look at the people crossing the Mexican border, right? And in the lines, there'll be more Chinese than there are Mexicans, right? You've seen those videos?
No, I haven't seen that, but I know that there are people coming over.
There's videos where there are it'll be like 60% Chinese, and the rest is like a mixture of Latin American. Oh yeah, they're coming in, dude. Like they are coming in.
Well,
so I'm a little, and again, I know what you mean. I don't want it to materialize, but I can't sit here and be like, oh, don't think about that, because then it won't happen, because it just might still happen. That might be the plan. So
right.
I mean, a lot of our politicians are already selling out to the Red Dragon. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It's just something I'll always go, it's in God's plan, and God is in control, and I'm going to hope for the best. But I think the best thing is just to preach like nonviolence, and to try to tell people, just because, regardless, be ready for something. Don't fall for the psyops, don't fall for the LARPs, don't let a crazy attack or something on our homeland get you emotionally riled up where you're willing to give up your rights.
Right.
But man, I don't know. I'm honestly a little worried about everything that's going on in the world right now has got me a little worried. But
yeah. Well, I think a lot of people are.
Negativity.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So, well, I appreciate that. Good hearing from you, Will, and thanks for the kind words. We're just gonna hope for the best. I'll keep reporting on it though, and we can keep connecting and try to stay at
good.
Least,
that's
we have to stay connected to human beings that are thinking rationally.
And you got to keep doing this is old LTV right here. You got to keep doing this old LTV. You're reporting on the news. You're not doing any of the other nonsense. Like just stick on this road, man.
All right, really. Cool. Thanks, Ian. Appreciate it.
All right. Yeah, I love you, man.
All right, love you too.
And I love all the fans too. Okay. Keep watching. This guy'd be great.
All right, thanks, Ian. Will, appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, see ya.
Yeah.
All right, that's a cool call. Hopefully we can, and this channel has 2 strikes on it right now. I believe I'm doing content which is within guidelines. So I'm just doing my best to stay within the rules, but which is why I can't take calls every show. So, but that was Eon though. Good words. Yeah. And then, warning that we could be invaded. Yeah. A lot of things can happen from here. So I think that's a good. There's Jim. Hey Jim, what's up?
Hey Nathan, how you doing?
Doing, thanks.
You sound good, man. Like
Thanks.
Eon said, I think you're sounding better and better.
Okay,
man.
Well, that's great. I love to hear that. That's perfect. And the show, when I listen to it, it sounds pretty good. So I agree with you that it sounds decent. But
definitely, man.
Yeah, that's cool. How are you doing?
Okay, can I shift gears to gang stalking?
Yes. If you'd like to talk about gang stalking, that's certainly within the guidelines. Go ahead.
Yeah. Like a week ago, my younger brother Mark, and he's 41 now. He's been an automotive mechanic since he was like 18, and now he's got this issue with what is it, the UAW?
Yes. You told me a little bit about this.
Did I tell you about this?
Yeah, you said the UAW was messing with him because he's non-union, or he had said something online. You said.
Yeah, and did I already bring this up on a stream?
I guess so, because I'm familiar with it.
Sorry, dude.
I know, though.
Yeah,
Every
I
day.
didn't know if you
Yeah.
knew about it or not.
Yeah. So yeah, you told me, and that stuff happens. And I told you about how that had happened with somebody who had been critical of eBay, that like eBay executives gang stalked him and actually got in trouble for harassment. But yeah,
I'm
it
burnt.
happens. Yeah, that's all right, man. What are you smoking?
Well, right now I'm smoking some East Coast Diesel crossed with apples and bananas.
Wow, sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it's a good hybrid.
Yeah.
Sativa hybrid. It's not too tiring, not too wiring.
Good,
so I like it.
good. Sounds good. Everything else
Anyway,
good?
I'll let you go, man.
All
It's
right.
good to see you doing good, man.
All right.
It's awesome.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate you. Thank you for that.
All right. You too, man.
All right.
See
ya. Bye. I'll try to smile. People say I should smile more. Say I want to. Yes, everything is better, but life still has challenges. That's all I can say. Yeah, I think everybody is aware of that. So I think today was a good show. I think we went over all the news. We played a bunch of video clips for you, and we're getting good feedback. So that's great. And we can wrap it up at about 1 hour and 21 minutes. That's a good number. That's like 11/11s, right? 121. So cool. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks for the kind words. Thanks for the good feedback. And I'll try to keep bringing you the shows every day, sometime in the early afternoon. Today we were a little earlier. Thanks, everybody who's tuning in, though. I appreciate it. And I'll check my Buy Me a Coffees. That's buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. That's where you can just do like $5 donations. And it says, oh, somebody else is calling. Okay, no problem. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, it's Job.
Hey,
I bought my shirt.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
I bought my shirt.
Good. Thank you.
I told you every month I'm going to do it.
Okay, you're the best. Thank you so much.
Okay. And then I wanted to leave you with something.
Yes.
You have been a beacon of light, information, and hope.
Oh, thank you.
That is why you get attacked. Okay?
Thank you. Yeah.
As a warrior, you're going to end up taking the assault. As long as you get back up, we will continue to share, support, and do what we can.
Thank you. I appreciate
But
you.
as a warrior, you're in a battle.
Yes.
But we're here for you.
All right, cool. Thanks, Job for 9. Thanks for buying a shirt. That's cool. I'm glad you support me that way.
I pray for you. I support you. I just want you to, I know that you probably already realize this, but sometimes you have to be reminded.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All
Thank
right,
you very
God
much.
bless.
All right. Thanks, Job for 9. See ya. Yes. See, I have people supporting me. It's great. It's good. It's really great to have people reach out with well wishes and stuff. So thank you very much. It's good for my mind. It's good for my mind to think that. So you can go to truthclothing.io. She mentioned she bought a shirt. I'm wearing the Lift the Veil Never Normal shirt, which is more now people understand why it says Never Normal. So I'll show you that. Let me show you our screen. So we have a sale right now. If you go to the sale tab, all of these products are on sale, including our Revolution t-shirts, Lift the Veil Never Normal. All those are $15, except for the baseball tee, which is $18, which is cheap. Some shirts are $10, including all our crypto shirts. And crypto might take off again. So you're going to want to have one of these, and they are really cheap at $10 or $15. So appreciate your support there. Thanks, Job for 9. Thanks, Jan Will, for the call. You can also get your propaganda shirts, because that's what the mainstream media gives you, is propaganda every day. You can wear your hoodie. There's our Bitcoin Save shirts, Question Everything shirts, which support Last American Vagabond. So that's at truthclothing.io. All right. So cool. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for the calls today. And thanks for the support. And we'll see you tomorrow. Should see you tomorrow, Wednesday. So for now. All right. for now. Thanks, Mojo Rise, who says watching since 2017. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. All right. And I will take off the banner so it's clean. Sumi, you want to say hi? All right. And we're going to wrap up. So for now, that is what it is.